Hey, it's Tuesday morning. It's my favorite day of the week. And it is so good to see you. I'm John Merriman, and this is your Tuesday morning guitar song. Do you believe in fate? You know, an unseen power in somebody's life that's unstoppable, that will deliver them to some preordained outcome. Well, I don't know if I do either. But here's a case in point. A poor, shy Southern boy who has stage fright. As a child, this boy is given no guidance and no encouragement. As a young boy growing up, he's derided and ridiculed. And then as a young man going off on his own, he is mercilessly attacked and falsely accused by almost every power that be. And then, this young boy is crowned king of music and changes the world as we know it. That's a pretty good case for fate. Elvis Aaron Presley. He was born in 1935 in Tupelo, Mississippi. He came from a poor family. His father did odd jobs and they lived in the African-American part of town. They attended the local Assembly of God church. And at 10 years old, Elvis was given a guitar by that minister of that church and given a few beginning guitar lessons. At school, Elvis was teased constantly for being a trashy hillbilly kid, and he became a loner. At 13, the family was able to move to Memphis, Tennessee because they could secure an apartment in a public housing project. Elvis was an only child, even though he did have a twin brother who was stillborn at birth. And because he was an only child, he was bullied in school for being a mama's boy. Elvis flunked music and was told by his music teacher he had absolutely no aptitude for singing whatsoever. Elvis found comfort on Beale Street in Memphis, Tennessee, and Beale Street is where the rhythm and blues clubs were. It was like their old town. Elvis would go down there, he would hang out and he would listen to the blues. And there he found friends, he found acceptance, and he found a place where he could be himself. And from then on he knew he wanted to work somehow in the music business. So he took his guitar and tried to sing in public, and he started singing in the courtyard of his public housing project, and it was rough. He had terrible stage fright, but he did stay with it. He was getting older, and Elvis took a job as a truck driver. He even tried out for a few local singing groups in Memphis, and more than once he was told that he couldn't sing, and he should be lucky he had a job as a truck driver, and he should stay with that. Well, you know, if there is a hand of fate, it delivered Elvis to the office of Sun Records in Memphis, Tennessee. In those days, a person could walk off the street into Sun Records and they could cut a record on the spot. They could sing and they would cut it for them and they would send them on their way with their record. And Elvis wanted to cut a record for his mother. So he walked into Sun Records, he paid his money, he sang 2 a cappella country songs. They cut the record, gave it to him, and he went on his way. Well, Sun Records happened to be owned by a man named Sam Phillips. And Sam was looking for somebody around that time. He was looking for a white man who could sing like a black man. And he knew there'd be some money in that. And guess who just walked into Sam's record company? Sam heard Elvis's record. He was not impressed, but he thought there might be something there. So he called up Elvis and said, "Elvis, come on in and just sing in my studio, would you, just for fun?" So Elvis did. And Sam kept working with Elvis. He found him musicians to play with. He actually booked him for gigs until they got that rockabilly knee-shaking sound that Elvis was known for in his youth. That was Sam Phillips. Sam Phillips got Elvis going in the music business. And it was not easy from that point on. The media attacked Elvis as being sex-driven rubbish. The church attacked Elvis for destroying the morals of youth. And civic leaders attacked Elvis for being a threat to public order and safety. Well, how did this happen then? How did Elvis become king of music? It was because every time Elvis performed, the crowds kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the fans screamed louder and louder and louder. It was absolutely unstoppable. Sounds like the hand of fate, doesn't it? And the story goes on and on, of course, as you know, but that was the beginning of Elvis in the music business. And I figure the hand of fate has brought Elvis to me today to be the topic of your Tuesday morning fun fact. Here's your Tuesday morning fun fact. Elvis's life has been picked over and examined in the media for years. But there's still one part of Elvis's life that is very rarely mentioned in the media today. And that is that Elvis's favorite music was not rock and roll. It was gospel. Gospel is the music where Elvis found comfort. It's the music he listened to and played alone at home. Elvis recorded over 50 gospel songs in his career. He is a member of the Gospel Music Hall of Fame, and by many, he is considered to be the world's greatest white gospel singer. To put this fact in greater focus, Elvis was nominated for 14 Grammys through the course of his career. He only won 3. The 3 Grammys that Elvis won were in the gospel music category. And that's your Tuesday morning fun fact. It's time to play guitar. I got one for you today that was a #1 hit of Elvis. He had 18 #1 hits. This was the very last one in 1969. So stay with me. I'll be right back. Well, there you go. Another week done already. I can't believe it. It's so good to see you. And thanks for all those nice comments you left last week. I really appreciate it. Hope you keep it up. And if you have a great Elvis story, put it down in the comment section so we can read it. Don't forget to hit the like button, share on your social media, come back next week, and remember, you're never ready for your day without a song in your heart. Bye now.